there's some good policy around, and there's been some good thinking through some issues, and I guess what we're wanting to do now is say, well, look, how are we going with all that? How are we going with implementing the National Child Protection Framework? How are we going with implementing the policies about integrated services that we have at various levels of government? And this communique is designed to kind of address that and look at where we're up to and how that might develop and how it might develop better. So if you want to, I'll perhaps just go through it quickly so at least you've got a little bit of an idea where we're going with this, and at the end of the day we're going to have a panel and there'll be some input from various key people and there'll be some input from everybody to that, so it's something that we can feel that we can really own as a group.
It's not the amount of money we earn that's the issue, it's the difference between what we earn and what other people earn. So when you're living in a society and you can look at other people who have a bigger flasher car and a bigger flasher house and have holidays overseas when you can't afford it and all of those kinds of things, it's that difference between you and other people that causes the problems around social inequality. When everyone you're living with is dirt poor and has nothing, you can actually be relatively happy.
I've got Leo with me from Lutheran Community Care at Murray Bridge. And how have you been finding the conference so far, Leo?
Well, it's been really useful for me. I've really valued the sessions and I've got a lot out of it. So it's been really good to be here and to see the breadth of activity that's going on in this space, and I found it really helpful.
Great. And what's been the highlight for you so far?
Ooh, there's been a couple, but primarily Paula Barrett's session yesterday I found really useful, and just hearing the statistics about the cause and the treatments and things that are available to deal with anxiety and depression, I found that really helpful, and I'm looking forward to getting some more information about that. Additionally, I found the breakout session yesterday afternoon with Paul Pritchard, which was themed around encouraging male participation and make it easy for dads to become involved in sessions. Being a bloke, I thought that was a really good session. So.
Excellent. And what do you think some of the key themes have been coming out of the conference?
Key themes. I think for me the key themes have been about sharing information and being able to do that in a way which is respectful for individuals, but also to leverage off everybody else's strengths, and it's good to actually hear those themes coming out in these sessions. So.
Fantastic.
The topic I was given by the conference presenters was developing integrated child and family centres, how easy? Now, not the words I would choose, but I'm going to try to respond to that question. I come from the most beautiful part of Australia, I'm sure you'd all agree. A stunning little place where you wake up to the sound of frogs in the pond rather than trains whistling at 5 this morning. Now we have a population of 500,000 people, which is about the size of Paran in Melbourne. And that allows us to have much closer proximity and ready access to senior bureaucrats and politicians to enable us to influence the way they're thinking and the types of policies they're developing. Across Tasmania, the state government has invested about $67 million in the rollout of up to 30 child and family centres. And the official word from the Premier's Minute is to fundamentally re-engineer early childhood services in the child and family centre communities. Now, if you think about those words, fundamentally re-engineer the way services are delivered, we're talking about something dramatically different.
I've got Aaron with me here today, and where are you from, Aaron?
I'm the fatherhood worker for Country Health SA based out of Gawler.
Fantastic. And what do you think of the conference so far?
I think it's been brilliant, especially being able to network with other people working in like-minded areas and just hear what other places are doing and other people are doing. It's fantastic.
And what's been some of the key messages you've been getting from the conference to date?
I'm a bit biased, but listening to Paul Pritchard yesterday and his Father Inclusive stuff is absolutely fantastic. The real need to engage the community at grassroots level and ascertain what they want, rather than us just bring in programs that have worked elsewhere and try and make them fit into the local community. You're just talking to the local community and really finding out what they want and what they need.
Some of my community development work, talking to an elder, one of her statements was, "Debbie, all I want to do is hear the children sing again." Now, how powerful is that for an elder to say, my time is very short now, and for her to say, I want to hear the children sing again. Now, for an agency, what's my role in that space?
Well, thanks very much, everybody, and Carl in particular, for having us. And I'd like to also pay my respects to the Gunner Plains people, past and present. This is going to be a presentation that's been an integrated presentation with 3 speakers. So we're trying to bring together our different perspectives and knowledge bases in this one presentation, so we'll be jumping in and off the microphone as we go. But I just want to revisit some of the rationales for family services integration. One of the questions that the speakers have put to us is, what do we think we're trying to do? So we're going to just briefly review some of the literature that might be well known to some of you about the reasons that family services integration is seen as a good thing, and some of the key elements of the literature, some of the key elements identified in the literature around how do you know when you've got an integrated service going, what are the things you might look for. We then want to briefly visit the policy context. What is the terrain we're working in and what are some of the constraints and structures, before moving along to look specifically at Communities for Children Salisbury. Part of that is the Family Zone Hub at Ingle Farm, and we've been doing, Ali and I, in conjunction with the Family Zone Hub, have been doing an evaluation of the service there, and we've brought along some of the findings as part of that. And then if we have a little bit of time at the end, we'd like to talk, Carl's going to be talking to some of the other sites of Communities for Children so we can see how various services operate.
Margaret said this morning in her talk that there's just not a lot of evidence around that this stuff works. Well guys, it's starting to come together and we're starting to get some evidence. So hopefully we can keep doing that and we can keep seeing this kind of way of working happen. And this afternoon in our panel we'll look some more about how that can happen and what we can do to change policies and to get more of it happening. However, at the moment what is happening to you is you're very hungry, so you can have some lunch.
I have Sue Fielding from the Mirrabooka Communities for Children site with me from Western Australia. How's the conference going for you so far, Sue?
Oh, I think the conference has been fabulous. I think there's been great network opportunities here, and it's been really good to listen to some of the speakers and the messages that they've put across about working collaboratively with families and children in different contexts and in very different communities.
And the highlight for you so far?
There's probably a couple. I think Paula Barrett's address on working with families was really inspirational, and Margaret Sims' presentation looking at her research on the scientific evidence between the early brain development and working with families has been really interesting. I mean, I'm fairly, I've heard those talks before and I've seen Margaret before, but I'm always really inspired by what she's got to say, and I think it really gives us a great rationale for why we do the work that we're doing. Yeah.
And you mentioned about the message of collaboration coming through. Is there anything else from these themes that are coming through that stand out for you?
Yeah, look, I think collaboration's been a key. I think the other thing is the relationship building, which I think, when we all work in community services, we know that that's important, but I think there's been some really diverse messages that have come through about different ways of working that I think's been really important. Yeah, and be helpful.
And any tips for next year, how we can improve the conference?
Oh, look, I think the conference has been fabulous. I guess the one thing for improvement is perhaps some of our keynote speakers have been so inspiring, people haven't wanted them to finish, so perhaps we could allow a little bit more time. But it's a conference that can't be faulted, so congratulations.
Great, thanks, Sue.